Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Wednesday. Do you know where your practice squad is? I think you do, because the Packers have announced the signing of 12 players to the practice squad. Notable that, yes, there is a 16-player limit, so they have some space available, as it were. Brian Gutekunst meeting with the media earlier this afternoon, indicating they will be looking at the groups of players that will be cut because of new kind of signings. Guys claimed on waivers always require teams to cut somebody, much like the Packers did today, having to cut Greg Joseph, their kicker. Well, not having to, but deciding to, and picking up Braden Narvison off of waivers from the Tennessee Titans. I mean, looking at this kid and what he did in the preseason, I understand the Packers' interest. Obviously, kicking in preseason and then kicking in the regular season, Lambeau Field, hell, down in Brazil in week 1. It's a very different animal. So here's hoping this kid comes out guns a-blazing down there in Sao Paulo and really takes the job. He will be the kicker for the foreseeable future, though Alex Hale does still reside on the practice squad with that exemption. He is the international player designate, so he does not count towards their roster limits, but Narvison will be your kicker, at least heading into week 1, as well as Sean Clifford, who will most likely be the backup, though Matt LaFleur, when he met with the media today, didn't really commit to that, but it sure sounds like the plan is still to bring Clifford up from the practice squad with the idea that Willis, most likely, Malik Willis, will not be ready to kind of absorb the playbook and be ready by week 1 to be the backup. Though, we'll see. Like I said, Matt kind of left that door open. So we'll see how that progresses. The Packers having a practice today. They'll have another practice tomorrow in Lambeau Field under the lights. Love Matt LaFleur kind of taking a jab at Alan Johnson, who does an amazing job. Like the Lambeau Field groundskeeper, or the field manager, as it were, for the Packers. Doesn't just manage Lambeau. He manages Clark Hinkle, Ray Nitschke, etc. Always top notch, always in great condition. They should be studied. They should be the envy of the league comparative to their peers. But it does feel like things get a little precious. And it's good to see football say, no, the whole reason we do any of this is to play a game of football. I think we need to practice under the lights. I'm the head coach. We're practicing. I like that. I like LaFleur kind of taking charge of that. Hello to everybody in the comment section. Hope you're all doing well. Before we get going, of course, I got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Ticket King. Based in Wisconsin since 1992, Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last-minute tickets or possible upgrades. Hell, they even have a drive-through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, on our app, or indeed in the description of this video. Don't use Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, none of this national nonsense. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s, Ticket King, for all your Packers ticket needs. Do it, people. Lots of folks already mixing it up in the comments, of course. What's going on? Go Pack, thanks for the super chat. Do you like how bold the front office is being? I mean, they're getting outside their comfort zone a little bit. I would say traditionally, going back through Brian's tenure and all the way back to Ted's tenure, I did like Brian saying today how he needs to be more patient with specialists. I thought that was an interesting comment. There's no doubt that they are certainly not afraid to pull the trigger on what is perceived probably as a mistake, in i.e. Anders Carlson, and then going out and claiming somebody off waivers and inserting him and then making the trade for the backup quarterback. They're certainly trying to be proactive. I don't know if I'd call it bold, though. I think that's just part of doing business in the NFL. And they've certainly seen where they need help as far as the roster goes. And they've made moves and made, considered moves to try and boost the talent level. And I think that's the job, right? Like Brian always talks about, it's a 365-day endeavor. You're always looking, you're always talking, you're always trying to find ways to improve your football team. I think given what we've seen over the course of the summer, the moves they've made have been prudent and they've been smart. I don't know if I'd call it bold, though. That's just me. Maybe that's just parsing words. Nick, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. Goody fixes QB and kicking problem in one day. In Goody, we trust. I mean, like I said, they're prudent moves, no doubt about it. And certainly moves that looked pretty damn necessary, right? Now, ultimately, long term, I think obviously kicker will play into their fortunes this year, but hopefully, most likely, backup quarterback, all the backup quarterback spots probably don't factor in very much to their fortunes in 2024. I mean, who knows, right? It's possible, but more than anything, it's like I said, they found opportunities to bolster their talent level, which I think is the job. Exactly. Abdul, what's going on, man? Aaron, what do you know about Narveson? Not too much. Honestly, I knew he was in a kicking competition with Nick Folk in Tennessee. I did catch his big dramatic, I believe it was a 59-yard game-winning field goal that he kicked, which is exciting. Or not, the 59-yarder wasn't a game winner. Sorry. The game winner was shorter than that, but he did hit a 59-yarder. He was 5 of 6 on the preseason. The one miss he had was from 58 yards, I believe. He was perfect on extra points, which should be welcome music to Packers fans' ears, though I think he only kicked 2 of them, to be fair, through the 3-game preseason. But yeah, not too much. He's an undrafted rookie. I like, again, the move to go get someone who's clearly had a better summer, and let's go and see how he does. Essentially, trying to up that floor a little bit. Jeff Smith, how are you, man? This Clifford truther lives to fight another day. Sorry ass Bears pick up Torrey to spot. Yes, Samori Torrey signing with the Chicago Bears practice squad. Another former Packer signing with the practice squad for an opponent today. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have Michael Pratt on their practice squad. So a couple guys signed opportunities elsewhere. I know Christian Welch, it was, I think, reported right before I went live, a little bit before I went live. He is returning with the Baltimore Ravens. I haven't seen a report saying that the Packers offered him a position on the practice squad, but I did see a rather terse tweet from Bill Huber saying Christian Welch will not return to the Packers, which sounds like an agent saying, "Yes, we've talked to the Packers and we're not coming back no matter what." But Welch, goes back to Baltimore. He's played there before, probably looking for a restart, so to speak, after I think having a summer that should have earned him a spot in the 53 in Green Bay, but he will be playing for Baltimore this year. Ralph, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. Looking to go to Packers/Texans game. Would you wait to buy tickets? Also, what are your top 5 section seats at Lambeau? Oh, top 5, dog. I got like 1 or 2, maybe. I love the South End Zone. It's always a party. Also, if you can, on the Packers sideline, I mean, if money is no object, get about 20, 25 rows up. That's the baller section right there. It's so great as far as being able to see the entire field. But if you want to party, South End Zone, that's where you want to be. As far as waiting to buy tickets, I mean, look, I just did a whole read for Ticket King, right? They'll have tickets available whenever you want to buy them. Traditionally, I would say probably waiting is a good idea if the teams in question aren't big ticket items. And as of right now, Packers Texans probably isn't that hot a ticket, but I think there's a decent chance both of those teams start the season well. You've got the young quarterback factor in Stroud versus Love. I think those prices are only going to go up. That's just guesswork on my part. Don't hold me to it, but I would try and get in now before things get out of hand because they could. That's just me. Eric Doyle, thanks for the super chat, man. Thanks for all you do, Aaron. How many times do you think LaFleur needs to see the offense run a play in practice before he's comfortable calling it in a game? That's an outstanding question. That's something I need to ask Matt myself. Guesswork, I would say a handful, 2 or 3 times. I mean, you don't have time to rep everything a million times, right? I know there are certainly plays in the playbook or the game plan week to week where most of them have been run a handful of times. There are a few that have only been run once or twice. Um, every once in a while, and I mean, it's really rare, they might run something they haven't practiced during the week, where down to like we haven't run this in months or what have you. More often than not, though, most coaches, not just LaFleur, they want to come up with that game plan and they are pretty adamant about sticking to it. Now, like I said, every once in a while there's an occasion or something comes up where they see something on tape and they know, oh, we have something that can take advantage of this. Maybe they haven't repped it, but they'll throw it out there thinking, okay, guys, let's stick, remember the principles of whatever technique you're supposed to be utilizing in this game, in this play, and let's go out there and execute it. So, but that's a great question, Eric. I can only guess, but it's an excellent question for the next time I talk to Matt. Joe, thanks for the super chat, man. Where will Aaron Jones rank on your list of hard to watch a former Packer play for another team? James Lofton to the Raiders was toughest for me. See, I never had an issue watching Lofton with the Raiders simply because obviously, back then we didn't have access to most games like we do now. But, the Raiders were always on in the 4:00 window. When they did play, I was actually excited to watch James Lofton because I just loved him as a player, right? Yeah, watching Aaron Jones in Vikings purple, though, that's going to be fucking tough. I don't know, man. That's going to be triggering, to say the least. I think there's a decent chance that I will watch him intermittently, but I have zero doubt at some point, every single time I see him playing for the Vikings, I will be changing the channel and I will be like rage turning off the television. My girlfriend makes fun of me. She's like, all you ever do is yell at the TV when you're watching sports. And she's probably right. And I think watching Aaron Jones in purple is going to get me yelling quite a bit. Anthony, thanks for being a Carry the G Club member. Really appreciate you, man. Narvison was 196 of 196 in college on extra points. Boy, would that be nice if that carried over to the NFL. Also, do you know of anything creamy and cold? You know what? It's funny you should say that because just this morning, I was talking to some folks and they were saying, Aaron, last year we really wanted to see Carry the G Cream Ale available in Door County. And I said, well, you're in luck because Carry the G Cream Ale is indeed available in Door County.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
I am never, ever, 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 ever getting sick of that song. It's so amazing. Jason just knocked it out of the park. Uncultured, what's going on, man? Yay, I don't have to curse Joseph. Random Packers, Harry, Sydney, and Tootie Robbins. I think you spelled Sydney's name wrong. Harry's name wrong there in the last name, but Tootie Robbins is excellent. Zeke G, what's going on? Thanks for the super chat. Coming up to Green Bay for the Saints game. My 4th time in Lambeau and my first Christmas in Sheboygan. Greetings from South Texas. Sheboygan, land of my birth. Dude, it's an awesome time to be in Wisconsin. I know people talk about, oh, it's so cold or whatever. It's like you don't even feel the cold. You know why? Because the Packers are playing, hopefully on a playoff ascending run. It's the holiday season. The lights are everywhere. Yeah, it's a little cold, but man, it ain't been real cold in Wisconsin now in December for like a decade. Like not like it used to be. I mean, it used to get so bad. When I was in high school, this is true. We had a winter where it was like negative 75 before wind chill. They don't rock like that anymore. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen anymore. So, everyone is a little worried about the cold in Wisconsin. Look, it's a vacation destination, people. You want to do it. Zeke, have a great time. Tyler pointing out as well, he's also 100% on extra points throughout college as well. Got to love that. See, I can already tell this is the Fight Club thing. We don't talk about it. Yeah, he's been perfect. Awesome. Duly noted. We never mention it again. You do not talk about Fight Club. See, we started talking about how Anders Carlson was doing so well at the start of camp, and then he fell apart. You do not talk about Fight Club. Uncultured Barbarian, thanks for the super chat. I've gotten this question a couple times today. So does this officially extend the undrafted free agent streak? Random Packer Jackie Harris. Yes, it absolutely does, because the streak, as it is, revolves around the roster week 1. Now, could something happen and maybe they bring up Hale or they sign somebody before they kick off in Brazil? There's a very small chance. But as we stand right now, yes, this extends the streak of a rookie undrafted free agent making the week 1 roster. That is the streak in question. And assuming nothing changes, that streak will continue. Jerry, how are you? Thanks for being a Care the G Club member, for being a Patreon member, and for always hanging out. Really appreciate you. Where would you rather sit? 18th row behind the Packers or 18th row behind the visitors? How can I know which side I'm buying tickets on? Hashtag first time at Lambeau. Most plans, if you look at the seating charts, will indicate where the Packers sideline is, where the Packers bench is, and the visiting bench is. Honestly, I'd prefer to be on the Packers side. Although I will say, I do know there is a section around there, right? There's a number of kind of families that have had those tickets for a long time, where there can be pockets of blue hairs who might tell you to sit down when you're up and cheering for your favorite team. And like, yeah, I know you're sitting there going, why would they do that? Like, if they want to sit down, they should just stay at home. And that's a fine point. But they paid their money too, and they want to enjoy the game, and everybody's got to be respectful. But that is the one, I would think, the one kind of hesitancy when it comes to sitting on that side. There are certain parts behind the Packers bench where got a lot of old heads, and they just came, from church, and they want to watch the Packers, and then they want to go home. And you shouldn't be upsetting the order of things. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not. Kind of not. I mean, don't get it twisted. There are certainly people in those sections who like to party as well. Just saying. There's also a little bit of old school going on in that section. So, if you want to get down and party like it's 1999, you probably want to sit on the other side. Ed, thanks for the super chat. It's not a season if we don't have to hold our breath for some aspect of special teams. We'll see what it is this year. I mean, seemingly the kickers, hopefully a bit better. Well, we'll see about returns. Maybe it's protection units. It's always rolling the dice, baby. Always rolling the dice. Greg, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. Random question. Do you think it is more common for players who don't make the NFL to use their actual college degree to find work, or do they try to get into coaching? Man, I would never even presume to have an idea as far as numbers go and trends or what have you. I think there's plenty of guys, especially now, who are able to lean on their degrees and go get whatever kind of job or career they want. Sorry, guys. I think most guys coming in the NFL now have a very realistic idea of their chances of a long career, which are pretty minimal, right? I think guys are way more educated now than they ever were even 10 years ago, let alone the last 20 or 30 years. There's just so much more information out there. Lots of that kind of stuff is way more transparent. I just think most guys go in with a healthy, maybe not skepticism, but a healthy attitude of like, this is I've made the NFL. I'm on a 90-man offseason roster. There's still a decent chance that this is not going to be a long-term thing. I think most of them are way better prepared now than, like I said, than they used to be. Jordan, thanks for the super chat. Did Pratt really have much of a shot to come back after the trade for Willis? Random Packer, Brett Conway, just for Corey. Hashtag drafted specialist. One of my favorite jerseys I've ever seen was at Lambeau pregame. This is a couple years and years ago. It had Conway's name on the back of it, but it was way off to the right. Indicate, he's missed kicks to the right. Ooh, that's inventive. That's cold and inventive. As far as did Pratt really have much of a shot? I don't know. It's really dependent on, what they thought of him internally, which I don't think they're ever going to really kind of put out there. Brian was diplomatic. I think I would say during the press conference today when he was asked about Pratt. Sure feels like they thought, like, look, we like the tools, but it's not happening. So, hey, look, Godspeed. I hope he kills it down in Tampa because I really liked him. I really thought he did have the tools, and I thought he had come along pretty damn well. I know he didn't light it up in preseason games, but given what he was working with, I like Matt says, it takes all 11. I don't think the other 10 guys really helped him a ton while he was out there. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him in Tampa. But yeah, I think he had a chance. It's just they wanted to go this route. Um, Tyler Irvin went to San Jose State over here in the Bay Area. I met him a few times. After the Packers cut him, he went straight into real estate with his wife. He's very successful and happy now. There you go. Although, didn't Tyler, I thought he caught on with a team or two before he kind of left the NFL. I want to say Buffalo, but it's good to hear. It's good to hear, man. And yeah, I think that is way more common than people think because for good reason, we see a lot of dramatic, like, what happened to this NFL player, he lost all his money, etc. That gets made into some dramatic content. Let's not call it scaremongering, but like we see that as the public, but we don't get a whole lot of, we don't have a 30 for 30 on Tyler Irving going and being successful in real estate because that's not going to sell, right? But that's great to hear. I love that. Rick Harris says, we will miss Dubose. Random Packer Eric Torkelson. God, I can never pronounce that. Yeah, they might. I think he had a good summer, but look, do you really think Grant Dubose is going to be a key to whether they win a championship this year or not? Love Grant. Thought he had killed it all summer long, but I don't. There's nothing that he offers that they can't get with what they got. I mean, I hope he goes on and kills it. I love that he's in a Dolphins offense that will certainly be able to utilize him. Very similar kind of style and terminology to what LaFleur does with McDaniel. Hopefully he can hit the ground running and make some waves down there. I'd love to see it, but it's not the difference between the Packers winning or losing. There's no way. Mark Walker, thanks for the super chat. My favorite obscure 84 Packer cornerback, Mark Lee, number 2022 or 22. Appreciate the balanced coverage, Nags, and team Cheesehead. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it, man. It's funny. I really appreciate that because I was on the Packers live stream today where when Goody was talking and LaFleur's there, and somebody asked a question in the chat and I respond, just factual stuff. And, most people are like, oh, Cheesehead TV, love Cheesehead TV. And someone responded, Cheesehead TV blows. And it's weird because, like, I get a lot of compliments. Like, in that chat, lots of people were really nice, blah, blah, blah. But the one person says, Cheesehead TV blows. And it's like, it just burrows into your mind. It's just weird how that works. I think it's a very internet thing. But so I very much appreciate you, Mark, and appreciate the sentiment. It's very much appreciated. What else we got? Jalen Wayne was put on the practice squad. Yes, he was. What else we got? The reason Zane Anderson is on the roster is because Brian wanted someone with Super Bowl experience for when we reach the Super Bowl. There it is. There it is. That is the one. That is the one. I mean, it's certainly not for the special teams experience, right? It's because he has Super Bowl experience. I love this. I absolutely love this. What else we got here, folks? Dennis is here. What's up, Dennis? I'm a disabled vet and can't stand very long. I know going in I will miss most of the plays. Just got to suck it up. Obscure view in Green Bay better than any other stadium. Well, Bumps, I hope you get to appreciate a lot more than just a few plays. Man, and that's something I wish the Packers would address because I think, the obstructive view stuff, they've fallen a bit behind at Lambeau in some of the more modern kind of, I don't know, things like disabled seating, obviously. I think rooms for people with sensory issues, those are really common across the league. And there's just a few other things where I get Lambeau is Lambeau, and it takes a committee basically to get anything done. But yeah, those are a few, types of things I wish they would be a little bit more kind of urgent as far as getting forward thinking, looking, moving, as it were. Timmy says, sad about the AJ Dillon news. Comeback player of the year after the 2025 season. I mean, hopefully he is back in Green Bay and absolutely tearing it apart. I think it sure sounded like, listening to Brian this afternoon, that he's got a pretty long road ahead, and not just as far as getting back with the Packers, but getting back on a football field. So, I mean, without knowing any of the particulars about the injury, it's really hard to pontificate in any intelligent way, but you just hope for the best for AJ. That is as simple as it gets. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out and talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Pack, go.